Welcome, welcome, welcome. Debs Cooper, Global Stressologist. Here we go again on another phenomenal video. I'm going to give you some strategies. And today's topic is the hidden cost of saying yes when you really mean no. Oh, even just thinking that, it has a cringe in my body that just goes, ouch, 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 ouch. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for joining me. Let me know where you are, if you're here for a replay, if you're watching live, and where you are in the world would be super cool for me to just have a look at. That would be fantastic. But let me crack on. Grab your note-taking device. Because when I think about this is one that is so common. I think I say that every week. It's so common. It's a goodie. And I'm going to ask you, have you ever said yes when absolutely everything inside you is saying no? Your body, your head, the people around you are like, no, no, no. Everything's saying no. And your diary definitely says no. But your mouth goes, of course I can. Absolutely. And 5 minutes later you're thinking, oh, why did I agree to that? What's really going on? Yeah. So today I'm going to show you isn't actually about saying no to everyone, and it isn't about making saying yes wrong. It's about being aware of why you're saying yes, instead of saying no, and what that yes might actually be costing you, because every yes obviously has an exchange. So let's go. Whoops, clap, 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 clap. So number one, I want you to create a pause before you answer. And this to me is one that I'm still learning at my 50 plus age, and I'm still learning. And even the other day I said something and I went, oh, you didn't pause. If you paused it, the outcome might be a little bit different. So I want you to stop giving an immediate yes. This is it. You don't have to answer somebody the second they say, can you do this? Anything. Some of us have a very fast yes. It's just programmed into us. Sometimes we say yes before the question's even finished. Absolutely, I can do that. So give yourself a sentence, and it can be one sentence that you're just going to practice. And I know there's somebody on. Okay, I won't even say what it is. Okay, and your sentence is going to be something like, "Let me check my diary," or "Let me have a think about that." Just very basic, no explanation, just simple. Or I'll check what I've already committed to and come back to you. I love that one. I'll check what I've already committed to and I'll come back to you. It's just another way of going, yep, I've got other things on my plate, the bigger picture. Just practice one and master it. So you don't have to justify, don't explain it, don't anything like this. And then you want to check your capacity, but not simply your capacity. You might be perfectly capable of doing something, absolutely. It doesn't mean you currently have the capacity to do it. That's a big difference. So just go, can I do this? Is this going to fit in? Is this actually good for me? Is this good for others? And do I want to do it? Again. So think today, when something happens, I want you to create a pause before you answer. A pause before you answer. Once you start doing this, it just flows for you. The next one I'm going to give you is to find out why you're really saying yes. And when I go to that, you're going to look for your perceived consequence. What do you think is going to happen if you say no? Will they be disappointed? So you actually have to dig into this one. This is an honesty one. You have to dig in. Will they be disappointed? Will they judge me? Will I feel guilty? What if an opportunity never comes again? If I say no this time, I might miss the boat. And what you're doing is, I want you to look at who you're trying to please. Not what you're trying to please, but actually who. A who. What individual are you trying to please, or individuals? Because sometimes a yes isn't really about what you've been asked to do. It isn't. It's about maintaining someone's perception of you. And I want you to go, you're going to choose from, I choose to do this, over, I should do this. And when you're looking at that, you're going to separate the two together, and you're going to listen to the language on the inside of your body, and you're going to feel it. I choose to do this feels very different from I should do this, or I have to do this, or I ought to do this, or they're expecting me to do this. I choose to do this, or I'd love to do this. And even when you say love, like let's just talk about cleaning the house. I have to do this. I should do this. You can feel the whole energy drain from you. But when you say, I love to do this, or I'm choosing to do this, there's a pep in your step. You're vibrating. So think of that. Think about those things, and think about why you're really saying yes. So another question is, what do you perceive would happen if you said no? What would you perceive would happen if you said no? It's just an eye opener. It's just an eye opener. The next strategy I'm going to give you is to check your values before you commit. And remember that their priority doesn't automatically have to become your priority. I'm going to give you that before I jump in here, because their priority is theirs, yours is yours, and we want to keep them separate, that we can stand beside each other but not actually get entangled. So when I think about this, something can be incredibly important to somebody else without it having the same as importance to you. Know that. So asking whether the commitment serves something that generally matters to you. Where does this fit with your values? Is this important to me? Do I want to do it? Does it serve something that is actually important to you? So when you're doing this, I want you to look at what is already higher on your priority list. And when it's already higher on your priority list, then I want you to look at adding something, if you do. But you must look at what's already on this list. Look at what you've already chosen that's a high priority. Because what will happen is if they've given you something and that jumps above, that there means this goes down. So if this is your number one priority and then someone's giving you a task and this is number one, this can go down to 2 or 3 if this is actually 2 or 3 things, because this can go all the way down. So this is going to get pushed down because this new thing suddenly appeared. So this isn't about being selfish. It's actually about consistently prioritizing yourself rather than automatically reacting. So the question I'm going to ask you here is, does what you keep saying yes to actually reflect what you value most? Does what you're keep saying yes to actually reflect what you value most? I work on fair exchange. I work on fair exchange. What I do for you, you do for me, etc., etc. And it's equal. But I want you to know that every yes you have has a cost. And until you work it out, there's a cost into everything. Every time you say yes, there's the time. If you give 2 hours here, you give 2 hours here, you give 2 hours here, you've just given 6 hours to your day that hasn't been back for you. I want you to check in with yourself and look at your energy. Some of these might take an hour, but there's an emotional and mental toll that happens, and the energy is going to weigh on you, and it can consume you before, during, and after the task. So I'd love you to look at what you're saying no to. Look at what you're simultaneously saying no to. And when I think about this, yes, it's another meeting might mean, yep, but it also might mean, no, I'm going to not get this work done. Yes to helping someone do something means no time with your family. Yes to helping with this commitment means no time to rest. In any of that, yes, I'll work through the night with you, but I'm not going to get a chance. Yes to everything else. Yes to yes. You can just hear it. You can hear it. I do go the extreme a little bit, but I will say yes. That means you're also going to say no to something that deeply matters to you, and that's where it is. It doesn't mean the yes It doesn't mean the yes is right or wrong. It simply makes the exchange visible so you can open your eyes. So, question here is, what are you saying no to when you say yes? That's it. The next one I'm going to give you, I'm talking a little bit quick today. The next tip I'm going to give you is to notify the identity behind your yes. Notify the identity behind your yes. And this means, are you the reliable one? Maybe you pride yourself on being the person everyone can count on. Are you the capable one? Maybe saying no feels like admitting you can't cope. Even when you know that's BS, because you can. Are you the helpful one? It could also be that you're helpful one. And so that means if being helpful has become part of your identity, saying no can feel uncomfortable. We know that. Because it actually challenges you to have a good look at yourself. So you can still be reliable, you can still be capable, you can still be helpful in all these things. But you can also do it without being available for everything. And also you can do it without saying yes to everything. Because when we're saying yes, we're actually saying yes to maintain our identity. So a question here is, what are you trying to prove you are with your yes? What are you trying to prove you are with your yes? Eek. Now, the next one I'm going to give you is actually a heavy word. and this can come in at full force. And this is called watch for resentment. The word clearly is resentment. And when resentment comes in, you have to notice when resentment comes in. I have to do everything. Why does everybody ask me? Why me and not other people? Or why I'm always the one who has to sort this out? I can do it better. Anything like this, resentment actually comes as information. It's just alerting you. So I want you to look at where you agreed to something. This can be an icky one. This can be an icky one. So look at something that you agreed on. And then sometimes we become annoyed at somebody for actually something we actually agreed to do. I did this week and I was like, oh, I agreed to that. I said yes to that. Now, ook. So somebody asked. We said yes. And then we resented them for asking. So I want you to use that resentment as fuel. And when I talk about that fuel, I want you to use it as a reason to investigate. Be curious. Be curious into that playfulness of what it actually is. So it doesn't automatically mean you should have said no, but it might be worth asking whether your yes was actually truthful. Oh, someone's mentioning me. And whether you generally choose what you agree to. It's pretty simple. So a question for here is, where are you resenting something you actually agreed to? Yeah, I did that this week. That was actually on 2 things. I got incredibly humbled. I went, oh yeah, you said yes to that because you thought you could and it was going to be fun, and now it's not. Yeah, so welcome to Deb's world. This is what happens. The next strategy I'm going to give you is to don't take things personally. And we know that. Don't take things personally. Knowing that their disappointment doesn't automatically mean you made the wrong decision. Doesn't automatically mean you made the wrong decision. Somebody can be disappointed that you said no. This doesn't automatically mean you've done anything wrong. Doesn't mean you've done anything wrong. So I want you to stop trying to control everybody's perception of you. If you're saying yes purely because you're worried somebody will think you're selfish, difficult, unreliable, in any of that, unthoughtful, uncaring, any of that stuff, you're actually allowing their perception of you to influence your choices. You're allowing their perception of you to influence your choices. So I want you to allow people to have their response. Let them have it. You're responsible for your decisions, actions, and emotions. They're responsible for their decisions, actions, emotions. You don't have to immediately change your decision because someone else doesn't like it. So pause, go back to that, I think it was number 1 tip, is pause before you say something. And of course there's a question with this one. What are you trying to manage with your yes? Whose opinion are you trying to manage with your yes? Where is this yes coming from? And dig into that. The next one I'm going to give you is to find your glitter bombs. So with your glitter bombs, I want you to look at what you automatically say yes to. How often do you say, I'd love to do that, but I don't have time? Say yes when you're saying no. Have a look at where your time is actually going. Stop assuming you have to add more to your plate to get through things. And finding more glitter bombs isn't necessarily about squeezing another thing into your diary. This is not it doesn't cost anything. It's just you work it at your time. It's free to do. It's going to give you effervescent energy. But what I want you to do is I want you to look at what are you creating space for that already lights you up. And I want you to make that room for what matters. And it can be, your diary can be full of commitments and automatically that you agree to, anything like that. There may be a little space left for the people, experiences, whatever inspires you. But for me, one of my glitter bombs is truly drinking out of there's a texture with my Tomo drink bottle. There's just a texture of rubbing this. It's a whole different feeling on my little fingers. And each time I take a sip out of my soda water, which is fizzy water, there's a different level of energy in me. And that is what I do as a glitter bomb. I also go and walk out in the garden and have a walk around the garden. I've got a beautiful garden out there. Or I'll go put something on, some lippy, or I'll go drink my a cuppa out of a different cup or something, whatever that is. This doesn't have to cost you anything. Or it could be just leaving your office and going somewhere, or locking yourself in the toilet away from kids. I think that was a common one for parents. But what I'd love you to do is I'd love you to ask yourself this question: what would you have more room for if you stopped automatically saying yes? What would you have room for if you stopped automatically saying yes? Yeah, I trust someone's writing these questions down because they're all little golden nuggets. But if not, if somebody's up for putting them in the chat, then I'm more than happy for them to do this. Thank you. Your next one. No, you know the one I end on. You know the one I end on. Guess what? You are not alone. You're not alone. So I want you to notice the pattern without judging yourself. And the key there is without judging yourself. So you've probably developed a habit of saying yes because you perceive there are benefits to doing it. I want you to understand those benefits rather than beating yourself up about the pattern. And to do that, I want you to start with one situation. One situation. You don't have to suddenly become the person who says no to everybody. You don't. Apart from Helen. Just drop that one in there. But I want you to start noticing one area where you automatically say yes, and it tends to appear in front of you. I want you to practice conscious choice. And so what happens is before the next yes comes flying in your mouth, you're going to ask yourself, did I choose this? Again, did I choose this? Not, can I technically squeeze it in? Not, will they be annoyed if I don't? Not, what will they think of me? Just let that go. I want you to ask yourself, did I choose this? Did I choose this? Or do I choose this? And the question I'm going to give you is, where could you practice one more conscious yes this week? And of course, saying you're not alone. We're talking about me, 20 years in this business. Reach out because I'm here to help you. I'm here to help you, guide you through. So as I wind up this video for you today, I'm not sending you away today to say you have to start saying no. That's not the point I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. I'm asking you to become more conscious about your yes. I'm asking you to become more conscious about your yes. Before you say, ask yourself, why am I saying yes? What will happen what do I perceive will happen if I say no? Does this align with what I value? What will this yes cost me? What am I simultaneously saying no to? And my favorite is, do I genuinely choose this? That's the most important one. Do I genuinely choose this? Because sometimes the most important question isn't, can I do it? It's, do I choose to? Do I choose to? Okay. The hidden cost of saying yes when you really mean no. Thank you for joining me. If you've got any questions, throw them into the chat. Other than that, I haven't seen any comments yet, so technology, we love that. Thank you very much for having me here today. And as I sign off, the hidden cost of saying yes when you really mean no. Debs Cooper, Global Stressologist, signing off. I will see you next time. Thanks. Bye.